how silly it is to give tutorials now when DJs aren't out there playing. But there's going to be a time the world will go back to normal and we'll all be out there playing gigs. We won't have to be stuck in the house in quarantine, speaking to imaginary friends and trying to... Oh, hi everyone. I'm DJ Chance, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode. This week we're going to be covering the EV Evolve 50 powered speaker system. Now if you don't know about the EV Evolve speaker system, you're missing out on a real treat. I'm a big fan of them. Now, Electro-Voice did not send me these speakers. These are my own personal speakers, so I'm going to give you my true honest opinion about them. Now, if Electro-Voice wants to send me a speaker system, I'll take the EV Evolve 50s in black, because these are my white set. Or even better yet, I will take the Evolve 30Ms. If you don't know anything about them, let's start with the subwoofer. The subwoofer is a 12-inch powered sub, 500 watts. You've got a 500 watt amplifier for the top speakers as well. The covers that come on these subs, you actually have to buy separately. They're about 50 bucks a piece. Now they have a rolling case that you can put these inside of. They have wheels, retractable handle, and they have 360-degree full coverage. So the speaker's not exposed to the elements whatsoever. With these covers, they're exposed underneath on the bottom. I'm not really a fan of that. And they also have openings on the side for the other two handles. They do, however, come with these cases for the top speaker and the pole that mounts onto the subwoofer. Let me show you its features. Let me show you its incredibly fast setup time. We'll talk about the weight. Sound I can't really show you because sound is subjective anyway, and you're more than likely listening to this on a phone or a laptop or in your car or some earbuds. Wasn't that a dog? That was a dog. Or some Beats by not Dr. Dre anymore. So first, as you can see, it's got this nice zipper bag that it comes with. Very well padded. It's very well custom padded as well. Inside, you'll see that the speaker is like ensconced in its own little foam cocoon here. And here they are in their little case here. They really did a good job with putting these in here. They actually shaped the foam. They put the piece back here. Now these are removable, by the way. Nice thick padding, and when you take the pole piece out, it's got a lot of foam here. I mean, look at how thick that is. So it's very well protected. And you have the two little pockets on the side where you can put your cables. Also padded as well to protect the speaker from the wire and the wire from the speaker. And you got the little flap, which is kind of pointless. I feel like they should have Velcroed this, because this is always out. Sometimes it's outside the case, it's getting caught in the zipper, and nobody wants to get caught in the zipper. And here's a second one. So I've got my 35mm cable in this pocket. And you've got yourself the pole that this attaches to. Now this is fantastic because there's no wire. You can see there's kind of a magnet here, and that's what holds it into the subwoofer. And that's also what carries its power and its sound. There's 4 little pins inside of this. As you can see right there, there are the 4 pins I was telling you connect right into the speaker. So that way it gives you your sound and your power. And the magnet here to make sure the speaker locks in place. You get a nice satisfying click once you put it on top of this.
On the top? On the top.
So you have no wires going from your subwoofer to your top, so it's a very clean look. This is the top speaker, very lightweight. It weighs about 10.36 pounds. The pole weighs just about almost 2 pounds. So you've got about 15 pounds of stuff in here. So you see you got a nice built-in handle on the back. The inner part of the handle, it has those ridges there. It makes it easier for you to hold on to. There's a lot more friction, so this way it's not going to slip out of you.
Slippery little suckers.
And that's a nice little attention to detail. This is something no one would have actually thought of or missed had it not been there, but EV took the extra step to put that in there to show you it's really a pro company, it's a pro piece. This isn't going anywhere when it's in your hand. Definitely another thing worthy of note here is the handles. Not only do you get the shoulder strap that's padded, but you also get a pair of handles that Velcros together. So that's just an extra nice little feature to have. This way you can get in and out of your gig any way. You can just grab the handle or you can throw it over your shoulder. I'll put one of these over my shoulder and I'll grab the subwoofer and walk into my gig. The great thing about this is that ergonomically, this is very easy to handle. The subwoofer has 3 handles on it. It's got one on each side. pull up the flaps. You can see it's got nice little flaps on there to protect the top handle. I feel there should be some for the side handle area. Another little flap, but they don't have that there. So it is exposed to the elements a little bit. So let's show the setup time, show how quickly this is. Let's see. It takes about a minute. Maybe a minute and a half to set up each side, depending on how long your wiring is. And just pull off those covers.
I can see my house from here!
Here's the power cables. These are the power cables that come with QSC K series, but I like that they lock and they're also 10 feet. They're much longer than the 6-foot ones you get from EV. And here's a shot from behind. You got the heat sinks for the amplifier there, and you can see it's got a really fat on and off switch. Easy to feel around in the dark. You don't have to go looking for little teeny tiny buttons because some of them have really small ones.
Teeny weeny, shriveled little.
Your locking IEC plug. Remember, these don't come standard with the EVs. I actually got these from my QSC K series. So I would recommend buying these if you want something that locks in place. And it kind of makes sense because EV shipped it with a blue receptacle. It's kind of like egging you on to get the blue cable. So plug that in. Speakers on there. They're on, ready to go. Try not to kill yourself when you do this. Can't really DJ well if you died in an unfortunate speaker mounting incident. Now it's powered up, it's ready to go. All you have to do is plug this into your controller. Just want to give you a better view of the angle that these have. It's going to angle nicely down to your audience if you have these up on a stage or a nice little platform. So here's the rear panel of the subwoofer. The thing I like that they've done with this as well is that they've made it angled. So you've got this nice angled appearance, so that way when you're standing behind them, you got them on the side of you while you're DJing. You can see what's going on back here. You can plug in easily, you can unplug, you can see your screen fairly easily, and the screen has various brightness and contrast settings. You can actually tailor it to your specific view, or maybe you just got bad eyesight and you need to see it better. You've got your master volume, you've got your line and mic input.
Need input.
Input, alright, right.
And there they are, their TRS and XLR inputs. And you also have your auxiliary in, which is a stereo RCA input or 35mm aux cable. Now you also have your through output, which you can have go to your other speakers. Now what the through is going to give you is what's coming into this specific channel. As you can see, it's connected to here. So whatever's going into line 1 is actually going to come out through your through. If you're using this entire thing as a mixer and you want it to go out to your other speakers, you would come out of the mix out to get everything that's plugged into this. So if you got 2 different microphones, you've got a phone plugged in and maybe a controller, all of those things can be plugged in here and all of that will come out of the mix out. Oh yeah! You can also use this to open up your settings and pick what you're going to use. You press in the master volume, it's also push for DSP, and this is how you'd control your various settings. The brightness goes all the way to 10. It's way too bright for this phone, but it's great for your actual eyesight if you need to see it better in a darker environment. The default setting for the speaker's LCD is on 5, so your contrast will be on 5 and your brightness will be on 5. Scroll up, we hit back, and now we've got all the various displays that this thing can do. You'll see a meter going along with the corresponding input 1, 2, and 3.
Input.
And it's in stereo mode. 3 is in stereo. So that's the only input you're going to have that's actual completely stereo. The other 2 inputs are mono inputs. So your mix out, its default is to come out left and right to another set of speakers. Or you can have it just come out as the right.
Slide to the right.
So your main speaker, this speaker in particular, would be the left speaker. So left volume would be coming out of here.
Slide to the left.
And then the right would be coming out of whatever else you plug in on the other side. So you could have stereo sound. When I start to turn the knob, I start to gain in my dB. There's your Bluetooth icon right there. Your CS, which is showing your connection status. And when it's flashing, it's telling you that it's ready to be discovered. Once it's discovered by your device, it will be solid. You'll just see the CS there. You won't see it flashing this way. And when it's not connected at all, if you turn the Bluetooth off, that CS won't be there at all. Now what this 1 and E is, the 1 is showing you what preset that you're actually on. You can store 5 different presets on here for 5 different venues. And the E is showing me that this particular store is empty. So my 1 has no settings saved to it. So we can depress that again. And now we've got our modes. You have your club mode, you have your speech mode, your live mode, and your music mode. That's its default setting, which is good for music play, obviously. So if you're looking for something a little more tonally flat, I would go with the live setting. And speech, of course, has the bass rolled off. And club has the enhanced bass and enhanced highs of playing electronic dance music. Now if we scroll down, we press the button again, now we can go to our sub level.
Sub level 3.
And we'll press that in. And now we can control the subwoofer all the way up to plus 10 dB. You can take the sub level down all the way to mute.
My name's Newt.
So you can go down 80 decibels all the way up to plus 10 decibels. And we can control our treble, the same deal here. Treble goes up to plus 6. And it'll go down to minus 12. The shelving frequency of the treble is actually 6,000 hertz. The interesting thing about the mid, though, is that you can actually adjust the frequency like a parametric equalizer. So I can actually go all the way down to 200 hertz, which is the crossover frequency from the sub. But I can actually go all the way above. I'm already past the treble setting, which is very strange. So the treble setting should have been set to maybe 10K, maybe 12K. You can adjust your treble at 6,000 hertz, and then your mid frequency, you can just jump all the way up to 12 kilohertz. And your mid frequency control can now be your high frequency control. So that's a little bit weird. That's something to think about when you have this. You have the ability to just adjust which frequency, and as you can see, it adjusts in 100 hertz increments. There's the bass. You have a separate bass and sub level. You can adjust the subwoofer volume itself to be louder than the top speakers, and you also have the ability to adjust the amount of bass coming in and out of the actual sub, set at whatever volume you have the sub level at. This speaker supplies 15 volts of phantom power coming out of its XLRs. So it can be used with a lot of microphones. You just have to check the specs of your specific microphone that you want to use with this speaker. But I know the SM87 does work with as little as 11 volts. Many other condenser mics can be used below 48 volts, but it's going to affect the sensitivity and its maximum SPL range that it can take. Channel 3 actually controls your Bluetooth volume, it controls the RCA volume, and it controls the 35mm 1/8 inch jack volume. Now you've got up to 100 meters of delay. Delay is not the effects delay that some people think of. I've actually had someone ask me that before. Is that the delay? Will it reverb out or do something? It's not the reverb. It's the delay in the sound according to how far your speaker is. So if I want to adjust this, you'll see that when I adjust it through the meters, it's also showing the feet. You can put your speakers up to 100 meters away. So you've got 328 feet. So you can adjust the delay of the sound that's coming from where you're standing all the way out to the speakers that are that far away. So maybe you've got the speaker across, maybe you're in a gym You know, maybe they've got you on a stage and the dance floor is, 82 feet away, and you can put your speakers all the way out there and adjust the delay so that way you can hear it as you're playing it and not have the delay like you have when you're kind of live streaming. I've been asked about the height of these. These are just under 7 feet tall, and you probably can't see it in the video, and I'll pull this back a little bit. So you can see they're close to 7 feet. The complete height here is 82.5 inches from the rubber feet all the way to the top of this. Now you have 8 3.5-inch drivers here. You have 3 of them here in the angled section, so if you're on a stage or on a platform, this will be facing down to the front of your audience. And then you've got the remaining 5 up here for the rest of the back of your audience. So they have a 120-degree coverage angle horizontally and a 40-degree coverage angle vertically. So one thing I found with these is having these right next to my booth, it's very loud to yourself. So I recommend earplugs, keeping your headphones on. So normally, coming from QSC speakers, especially the KW series or the K series, they have narrower dispersion than these do. So if you're coming from like a K12 that has a 75-degree angle, where none of that sound is really hitting you, it's facing directly at your audience. This is 120 degrees, so it's coming out through the sides. Very loud, very clear, but it is very loud. This does achieve pretty high peak levels, 127 dB max, so you get about 124 regularly, but as we all know as DJs, sometimes you're going to hit those clip lights or those limit lights, and you're going to get that full 127. I've averaged, in most gigs, this is playing around 105 dB when you're out on the dance floor. And that's pretty loud, especially when you got people talking. So the good thing about it being 120 degrees is that it doesn't throw all the way down to the end of the room. So if you're doing your weddings or your Sweet 16, you're not blasting grandma and grandpa's eardrums out. You're not waking up the baby that's in the back that someone stupidly brought to the event, even though there's going to be 1,000 watts of power there and 300 people. Let's bring the toddler, why not? It's probably the same people that go to the movie theater with that same kid. They bring it to see like Insidious or something, some horrible horror movie, and the kid's back there crying. All explosions and Avengers. But I digress. So being on a flat dance floor with your crowd, you lose a lot of this sound. So that's something to remember. If you want to get these above people's heads and you don't have a stage, I put these on top of my KW181. They come about 20 to 21 inches off the ground, which is about what these are. I believe these are a little over 19 inches high. So you have the QSC on here and it's wider. You put this on top. It puts the top speakers right above people's heads very nicely. So you don't lose these 3 drivers that are here, because this is kind of a waste. This really is just loud enough for the kids that are running around on the dance floor during the wedding, following all the little dots of your lights and the gobos. The top of these subwoofers, they've made them slanted, so people can't put their drinks.
Everybody put your drinks in the air!
Put your drinks up. Put your drinks
on top of your sub. And I've seen a couple people try to do it, and you see the drink just kind of slide off and toboggan onto the dance floor. So that's the good thing about it. They have to put like little shot glasses there. And so far I haven't had anyone bring a shot glass all the way from the bar to the speaker. Having the slanted top keeps people from sitting on your subwoofer and putting drinks on there. And I love that, because that's always a worry for everybody. You go to a club and people don't respect your $3,000 subwoofers. They just put drinks all over them thinking it's a table, even though they have their purses right on that table there. And I'm not just talking about the girls.
It's called a satchel.
You're gonna have to give this one 2 snaps up in a circle.
The other great thing is the subwoofer cabinet itself is made out of actual wood. You've got 15mm wood. It's a composite wood. It's not Baltic birch, which a lot of people expect with higher-end speakers. Having an actual wood subwoofer at this size of 12 inch is great, because EV used to have those EV SB120s and the SB120As, and those used to be the subwoofers that were plastic and trapezoidal. and they gave good bass. I used them for many years. I actually still have my SX300s. The Electro-Voice does have a penchant for making long-lasting, good-sounding speakers. The best thing about these EVs that I like, there's no horn in these, because the EV horns, those DH2010 drivers used to blow all the time. Anyone who's had EV speakers in the past has had a DH3 driver blow, or the DH2010A they used in every speaker for like 25 years. So I don't have to worry about those. These are just full range. The LED is the front LED I showed you earlier, and you can set it to limit. You can use it for the control app. You can turn it off or on. And you can see what I was showing you earlier about connecting the control app. You see it's a blue LED now. Now when this is searching for whatever Bluetooth device, this light will flash. It will start to pulsate, showing you that it's ready to be found on whatever Bluetooth device you're going to use. Now you've got 2 minutes to hook up whatever your device is to the EV Evolve 50. After the 2 minutes, it'll just default back, and you'll have to go back into the menu screen back there and set Bluetooth to be discovered again, and this will start flashing in blue. Now it's going to stay blue because it's showing that I have it, and it shows that I'm using it through the control app right now, whereas the other speaker is still in white because I'm not controlling it through the control app, and I don't have the LED set to light up blue to show me that I'm using the control app. In the LCD menu, you can actually customize that as well. This is where you would store 5 recall points for 5 different venues, 5 different practice halls, whatever you're using it for, whatever you store in here. So let's go into store. So if I want to store something into the recall number 1, I would press that in, and now I can enter the names for it. As you can see, you can get numbers. Let's put DJ Chance here, because that guy, man, he needs as much help as he can get. And once you're done, you scroll all the way back, and you can hit cancel, clear, or save. So I press in the button, and now DJ Chance 1 is stored to 1. So whenever I show up at a venue and I want to recall my settings, I would just go into recall, and I would have my list of 5. So I would go there, DJ Chance 1, press that in, and it's recalled. And the next setting is Bluetooth. So we can turn the control app on. We can turn the streaming Bluetooth on. Now let's go back. And then this is just to reset back to factory default settings, and info is letting you know the Evolve firmware 1.3.0, copyright 2017, Electro-Voice. Let me show you what the control app can do for this thing. Alright, so in order to use the control app, you download the EV control app. You press it in there, finding the speakers. You press the 2 speakers I have here. Here's what's confusing about this. In the manual, it tells you that you can connect up to 8 speakers on this app. However, it only says you can control 6 of them in 2 other sections of the manual. So I'm not sure exactly which it is there. But anyway, you would press the 2 speakers. You see they're underlined. They're ready to go. We'd apply. Now it's looking for them both. And there they go. They're ready to be used.
So here's something you can do. They've actually placed the volume control horizontally, like if it's a semi kind of dial. I wish it had more of the haptic feel, because that would be cool. As these little numbers are going by and the lines are going, you could feel the haptic little feedback coming back off of the glass. That would have been a nice little touch. I would have enjoyed that.
So you press the system EQ, you can hit mute right from there. You can do your custom settings. Let's pick a tune. Alright, so we've got a track there. See, we can do mute. Let's put the other speaker. And then we got mute on both. So you can switch through all of your speakers. As you can see, it says Evolve 50 number 2. Back to the other one. Music mode. set at its unity gain, as you can see here. Alright, so we got track. Go to speech mode. A lot of less bass. We can take more bass out. That's one speaker. Let's do the other one. All the bass went away. Now you hear how awful it sounds. You can see right there how it says minus 54 decibels. You can also see that that corresponds with what it says here. What you can see on this screen here is that peak level that you're getting there is actually the peak of the input. You see I have the line mic pretty loud. So it's hitting its peak there. But it's not hitting its peak on the speaker. The little square above the green square would actually be flashing in red, and it would be showing you that you're clipping. Also, if you're not looking at your screen, let's say you've turned your screen off, the screen will actually light up as a notification. Like if you were getting a text or notification from a different app, you don't ever have to look at the back of the speaker or see the front of the speaker. If you have the LED set up in order to show you that that's happening, you won't have to see that. You'll see it right on your app. I can control the volume for both speakers through this as well. As I raise my volume, as I lower my volume. So there you have them, everybody. The EV Evolve 50 powered speaker system. Electro-Voices, just phenomenally good portable speaker system. As you saw, it got set up in about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. It's simple to get in and out. I mean, you just can't beat the way that it looks. It's nice and clean. It's so classy looking. It's so different than having speakers on tripods with the white scrims, which seems to be something a lot of brides are starting to say they don't want to see. They don't want to see the tall, pointy scrims. That's getting kind of played out, I guess. Some people don't seem to mind it, but some of the higher end clients seem to be a little bit more picky. It's also the same reason DJs would choose using the Maui system or the Bose L1, L2 system. It just looks classy. You don't want a speaker that looks obtrusive in the photos for a wedding. You don't want to show up at an event with a bunch of speakers that look like they've lived life on the road with gashes and cuts and everything just missing out of them. You want to show up with something nice and classy, and for the money, these just were unbeatable to me. I mean, for the weight and the sound that they give and just the compliments alone that I get for these, it's just been worth every penny.
Penny! Penny! Penny!
And you're someone who may be of advancing age, you don't need a road crew. You don't even need a truck for these. I can fit my entire sound system in my Lexus RX 350. They hit pretty hard. I mean, the amount of bass that this little 12 puts out is actually going to blow your mind. This is the first speaker system that I've ever owned in 35 years of DJing that I bought the very next day of me hearing them. And the only reason that I didn't buy them that day was because they didn't have the speaker system in white. They only had the black system set up, and I wanted these specifically for my wedding clients. So thank you for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend if this was useful to you. And if you found something in this video that you figure maybe I did wrong or you have a better way of doing it, please put it in the comments down below and let me know so I can do future videos and do things correctly. And we can all work with each other since we're all doing the same job. And don't forget to punch that notification button so that way you can be notified when I make my new tutorials and reviews each and every week. Now learn this gear, go out there, master, and make money.